The year is 1898. The battleship Maine, anchored in Havana Harbor, explodes, sparking the Spanish-American War, which rages 105 days. Teddy Roosevelt, leader of the Rough Riders, emerges as an American hero. Montana's been a state 9 years, despite Custer's recent defeat at the Battle of the Little Bighorn.
I was wearing diapers at the time, 1898, that is, when the Montana Conference was officially organized, and I really doubt they were the disposable kind. Now I better behave myself. After all, this is supposed to be the Montana Conference President's Centennial Report.
That's right, George. Our conference is about as old as you are. Actually, we're celebrating our centennial just a bit early, as our organized work here started October 5, 1898. Now, George, you didn't start out in the work as conference president, did you?
I got my start working as a colporteur, and later I was called to Montana as a publishing secretary.
A lot of things have changed since then, George, but important things are still happening.
One of the things that we have changed over the past number of years has been the involvement of the lay people in the church.
As we all are aware, our financial picture here in this conference is not what a lot of other conferences enjoy. And so we have to stretch ourselves, we have to try to discover new ways of doing things.
I think the lack of money has really been a real blessing in many respects to the growth of the church members.
If we as pastors are expected to finish the work here, the gospel throughout all the world, then really it's not going to get done.
Our churches have had to learn to do things on their own. Our elders are becoming more involved.
If you look around, those churches that are growing the fastest in the United States right now are those where the lay people are the driving force in the church, and I see that happening in Montana.
I remember when I first visited the Superior Church several years ago in this little building on the side there, and someone mentioned to me about building a new church. And I thought, oh, build a new church. This little teeny group never happened. But sometimes you underestimate the strong desire and will of people to see a proper place and a representative place in which to worship God.
Sometimes God uses a tragic thing to turn the direction of a church around, and that's what he did in Ronan. The miracle that's happened in Ronan is the change of attitudes. When I came to Ronan, there were 3 things I was told. 1, don't do evangelism. Evangelism, we have already tried, it doesn't work. Secondly, you should close the church school. We have too few numbers, it costs too much money, we should have nothing to do with our church school. And the third thing, don't try to raise any money because we don't have any money here and we can't do any building or anything with any type of outreach. And so that's all changed. 2 years ago there was an accident, and 8 of our kids were in a van, and they were traveling down Lookout Pass after a ski trip. And on the way home, a pickup truck crossed the median and hit the van head on. As a result of that, several of our kids were sent to different hospitals. There was a huge slew of people that were there to help them in their time of crisis. All our kids have recovered from that. And in response to that, our church had drawn closer together. They prayed together. It shocked our community. Our community started to ask questions about our kids in our school. We've had 2 evangelistic series. We now have the largest elementary school, and we've been able to raise funds to help our school have brand new computers, and we're doing various projects to build up the church.
Founding and building new churches is a Montana tradition.
My name is Sandy Reynolds. I'm the pastor of New Life United Methodist Church. My husband Ron and I came to this congregation in August of this year, and when we came, this was our first opportunity to be involved in a shared facility arrangement. We share this facility with the folks from the Belgrade Seventh-day Adventist Company.
And we hope to be a church real soon.
I hope you will be too. If anyone deserves to be a church, I think these people do. They have been a tremendous inspiration to me personally and to our congregation.
This Belgrade Company began when the local pastors of the Bozeman and Mount Ellis churches decided that they would like to see some Adventist work in the Belgrade area.
When there was discussion about starting a new church in the Belgrade area, I was immediately interested because I'm from the Belgrade area, I live in that area, and I have a lot of family and a lot of friends in that area, and I thought maybe it would be more easy to get some of them to come to church if they didn't have to drive all the way into Bozeman.
We're really excited about starting this church out here in Belgrade and finding the former members of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, so we started calling them, all the former members in the Belgrade area, in the Manhattan area. And one of them was John Reynolds. Janelle Dixon called him up about 2 or 3 times, and he walked in last October.
Being a Seventh-day Adventist for most of my life, I kind of drifted away after I graduated from Mount Ellis Academy. Thanks to Janelle Dixon, I was interested in coming back and seeing what it was like in a smaller church, and I did that, and I am happy to say that all of these people have become wonderful friends and family to me.
Another person is Debbie Anderson. She was a former member.
I've been wanting to come back to the Seventh-day Adventist Church for a long time, and all of a sudden I started getting the Discovery Bible class through the mail, and to this day nobody knows how Donna Wagner got a hold of my name. That's been rather mysterious, but I started reading the Discover Bible studies as they came through the mail, and one day I decided I'm going to go back to church. And I walked in the door, and I was greeted at the door and told that I was welcome, and they asked my name, and I said I was Debbie Anderson, and everybody said, Debbie, Debbie, and it was kind of funny, and I didn't find out till later that everybody was wondering if this was our Debbie, because they had all been praying that I would come to church. They knew that I had been taking the classes, so here I am.
And Tia took Discover Bible School too, and she grew up in Butte, went to Montana State University, and always wondered about the Sabbath. And when she took to Discover Bible School, she realized that the Sabbath was the Sabbath. And she walked in last November, and it's been really neat. She has a lot of talent that she has brought with her.
That's right. Tia came and helped us plant marigolds and hollyhocks, and has brought plants to share in the facility and to make it look greener and more alive. They clear the snow for us on Saturdays, and I have to tell you that that's probably one of the main reasons most of our congregation really likes having you be here. Because they come and find the parking lot all cleared of snow, and that's really nice. They don't have to do that.
I'm encouraged. Time has a way of changing things, but it hasn't changed our commitment to reach people for Christ around the world, or right in our own hometown.
There's a store owner in Hardin, Montana, that came along with the other 11 people in Doug Batchelor seminars. He stayed in the church, and I started to talk to him about my mission trips in Kalahari. He became very excited, and he said, I would like to come and join this trip. I will even sponsor it from my pocket, and I'll try and save whatever I can for this mission. But we had no money. We only have $210 in our account today. And as I came to the pastors meeting in Bozeman, I found out that Montana Conference, along with Quiet Hour and Union Office, sends pastors actually. It's a mission project for the year 2000. So that was an answer for me from God that I will be helped to this mission for the Bushman tribe of Kalahari. And I was very excited, and I praised God that He knows what we're talking and what we're thinking of doing mission for Him.
The early pioneers wasted little time when they saw the opportunity to care and share Christ with people in need. In 1899, just 1 year after the conference was organized, the Butte Helping Hand Mission was established to help gamblers and others escape the appalling conditions of the city's 300 saloons, beer halls, and opium dens.
Over the past century, church ministries has undergone some changes, and the change in name several times, but it still stands for the same thing. We care about people. We want to share the gospel. We've done that in several ways over the past 3 years. One of those has been in helping with the floods in North Dakota, with the cleanup there. We've been involved in disaster training.
Speaking of training, just 2 years after the conference organized, Montana had its first church school. What began as a log cabin school developed into Mount Ellis Academy.
Many of you recall that at our last constituency session, we voted to set up an educational commission. That commission worked hard, met often, and came forth with good recommendations. Many of those recommendations have already been implemented, which I feel has helped to turn our school around. One of the things that is really positive is our Christian Community Service Week.
And what I did last year was I went up to Glendive, and we helped out at an elementary school with some kids, and we helped clean their library and clean their classroom and just help them out with their schoolwork every day.
We believe that as we form the characters of young people, we are helping this conference to grow.
I'm just really impressed with the Montana Conference and how much it involves its youth and how many programs it has. It's really cool.
Probably the thing that I like the most about Ski the Summit is we get to interact with all the other people from the other Seventh-day Adventist schools, and we get to listen to really cool speakers and listen to their stories about how they were converted, how they grew up, where they live, and what their family's like. Also, we get to take 3 days off from school and go skiing or boarding all day at a cool resort.
That's, how do I say it, cool?
The early pioneers really stretched and sacrificed for God's work, just as our people are doing here in Montana today. Our church members here are true pioneers. I have been honored to serve as president. I have seen God at work among our members and churches. I believe God's vision for us during the next 3 years includes 8 important major objectives. Objective number 1, revitalize, support, and strengthen the local church. Number 2, call, equip, and support spiritual and visionary leaders. Number 3, develop a financial plan. Number 4, encourage and inspire Adventist youth to be involved in service for the church. Number 5, establish an Adventist presence in every city of 3,000 or more through church planting efforts and personal and public evangelism. Number 6, make our own K-12 Christian education available to all Adventist children and youth. Number 7, practice and teach biblical stewardship principles based on a relationship with Jesus Christ. Number 8, support and facilitate local church use of effective media technologies. I hope you'll take time to read more about these objectives in the materials we've given you. We have a tremendous challenge and a great opportunity.
My parting advice in celebrating the 100th year of the organizing of the Montana Conference, don't forget, it's still a mission field. The Lord has truly multiplied the resources and vision of the early Adventist pioneers, and He has promised to reward each of us soon. Oh, how I look forward to that day.